All right, send it. All right, continuing on. Row 10, starting 30th. He qualified as the fastest rookie in the field back in 2021. Drive the number 30, 5-hour energy Honda for Rahal Letterman Landing and Racing. Good morning, Pietro Fittipaldi. All right.
Good morning.
So we'll wait for Conor Daly. Conor should be on his way up here momentarily. All right, your thoughts on race week and heading into Carb Day tomorrow and weather permitting Sunday racing?
Yeah, I hope we're able to race on Sunday, although the weather has been getting increasingly worse throughout the week. The chances of rain have been getting higher. I think it's at 80% now for Sunday, but I hope it keeps getting worse so that it resets itself before Sunday. It goes back to zero. But yeah, I'm excited. It's the Indy 500. It's amazing, and this is the first time I'm experiencing the full Indy 500 because there's a lot of activities that are new to me this week. And I thought it was like, oh, maybe it's only Team Rahal that does this, but it's not. It's because when I raced here in 2021, it was still the year after COVID. So a lot of the stuff that we were supposed to do, we didn't do it because of COVID. So I'm actually now feeling like I experienced the full, Indy 500 spectacle.
The whole thing. And it's far from over. A lot of ceremonies to come throughout the course of the weekend. Okay, questions for Pietro. We'll start here with Chris.
Pietro, going off of what you just mentioned about all the different festivities, like how much fun is it to get the chance to do all of that stuff? And were you with other drivers doing that? And what did they tell you? And how'd y'all do with that?
Yeah, it was super fun. Like yesterday, we went to middle school. It was like elementary, middle school. I went with Graham and Christian, and we did a bunch of activities with the kids, and it was honestly very funny. So it was a blast. And a lot of the other things that we do. For sure that when you're on track and you have to do a lot of media activities the same day that you're driving the car, it's a little bit mentally tiring, but it's part of the game. But I remember the other days that when we were off track in 2021, like the days were just very slow and boring. But now it's filled up with media and different activities that we do for the community. So I think it's very important.
And with the weather, you were talking about the weather possibly getting worse and worse and worse. How important is Carb Day to you for trying to get those last little adjustments ready for race day?
Yeah, it's super important. For sure, coming from the Monday practice, there were things we need to work on, and we have an idea what to do for Carb Day. So I think it's going to be dry for Carb Day, which will be good. Get those last 2 hours of running, and then get ready for the race.
Great.
Oi, Pietro, Indycast Brasil, tudo bom?
Tudo bem.
Guys, I will do em português. Pietro, você é a terceira geração do nome Fittipaldi aqui nesse lugar. E tirando o avô, o primo, como é que é para você estar de volta e agora full time aqui dentro?
É uma grande honra para mim. Essa corrida é sensacional. Tem 33 pilotos disputando a vitória e se você ganhar a corrida, você se torna uma lenda no mundo do automobilismo. Então é realmente incrível. Sempre gostei muito das corridas nos ovais e principalmente das 500 milhas de Indianápolis. E é isso, agora é focar nessa corrida. O primeiro ano a gente classificou muito bem com a Daly, fomos 13º e o melhor novato. Na corrida, eu lembro que naquele ano a gente fez uma estratégia um pouco agressiva de economia de combustível, não deu certo. Mas agora estamos largando mais atrás, né, em 30º, e a meta é melhorar e ir para frente na corrida.
Starting 29th, making his 11th Indianapolis 500 start, driving the number 24 Polka Dot Chevrolet for Ryan Reinbold Racing with Houston Motorsports. Good morning, Conor Daly. What's your race week been like so far?
Great question. It's been wonderful. It's nice and warm. The weather's beautiful, as I'm sure it will be continuing this weekend. But yeah,
I like your optimism. Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, it's been fun. Lots going on. Again, very busy. So that must mean something great. A lot of good vibes. Vibes are high. So feeling good.
You feel good going into tomorrow?
I really do. Yeah. I just asked my engineer. He says we will get in Carb Day. It seems like, so that's good. I just needed maybe a couple. I just want one or two more things to evaluate that we didn't get to do on Monday. Because we couldn't run the second half of the session, just out of kind of a precautionary measure. So, yeah, just want a couple more things out of the car. But honestly, I think we've kind of been low key pretty good, and kind of sneaking under the radar, I hope. So, it feels good. Car's fast. And I mean, we're certainly one way to go. Can't really go much further back. So, we're going to go forward.
There you go. We'll go Joey and then Kyle. Go ahead, Joey.
Question for Pietro. I mean, Graham's kind of had an eventful week for the second year in a row, but kind of talked about how maybe Takuma is an anomaly within the team, and also that they seem to have been off in qualifying, but found it a little bit on Monday to be on pace. Does your car seem like it's as drastic as his in any way, or have y'all? I mean, is that within the team, or what's going on there?
No, I think there's one thing to run fast by yourself, right? So when you have no toe speeds and the car has its own natural pace running alone, that's the car speed. And then when you get to practice running, yeah, I think when the car is good under traffic, you're able to follow much closer. And as well, you can time, the practice times, in my opinion, it relies a lot on when you go out for your run, you can get a group of cars in front of you and you can set like a super fast lap time. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the car by itself in qualifying has the speed, So I think our race cars are much better than our qualifying cars for sure, because we cannot go more back, But I do believe that our race cars are better, and I think Graham was able to show that. And he was, running well in traffic. I think he was the happiest of all 4 drivers in our team. I know Takuma felt like there were still things that he needed to work on in traffic. So I think it's just 2 very different situations. I think it's hard to compare like race running and practice results with qualifying, because it's 2 very different things.
And the follow up to that is just, I mean, I know it's still early days, and I know it's a few years since you had the experience at Coin here, but like in your brief couple of weeks with Takuma, and just already your knowledge within this place, I mean, what is maybe he brought that's a little bit different that maybe you didn't pick up on a couple of years ago?
Oh, he's very technical. He understands a lot about setup, and obviously this car's been the same here for, let's say, I don't know, 10 years or something. So he knows a lot of details in the setup, racing from other teams and stuff, and he's very particular with what he wants and what the feeling he wants to get from the car when he's driving and qualifying or under traffic. And in the briefing room, it's like a long table with all the engineers, and it's Christian and Graham on one side, and then it's me and Takuma. So he's right in front of me, so I'm able to hear everything he's doing with his legendary race engineer Eddie Jones. So just learning from them and understanding what a driver like that wants to feel, because he's super aggressive and he takes a lot of risk, but he needs a certain feeling from the car to be able to do that. So it's important for me to learn that.
Kyle, and then we'll go a second row here. Go ahead.
Conor, you seem to be just really friendly with everybody here. I think you've got the podcast.
Well, that's an understatement.
I mean, just with the drivers, it seems like you have a relationship with a lot of them. Obviously you've got experience at the 500. What have you been, have you talked to a lot of the first time drivers this year? Have you talked to Larson, kind of telling them what to expect, things like that?
I don't think as much this year, only because I haven't been around the paddock at all until this month. So, that's obviously a little bit different, but, I talked to Pietro a lot before his season. Yeah.
Well, no, I was going to say,
you did my show.
He was nice to everybody this week except me. He sent me a very mean message.
I did. Yeah. This guy almost caused me to crash.
Yeah, I got in the way in a bad way. It wasn't, intentionally, but he was right. He sent me a message like, bro, you can't do that. And I understand.
So, hey, I'm going to be honest with anyone, you know what I mean? But no, I've talked to Kyle a little bit, but not really about racing. He only asked me if I stole his scooter. So I don't really know if anyone else is really looking at me for advice or anything, but I had a great interview with Nolan Siegel yesterday on my show, and it was great to talk to him. Honestly, I think it was a tough weekend for him, but I'll talk to anyone. Obviously, I don't mind, but I just like talking about this event. Like, this is the coolest thing in the world that we get to do. And I think, not sharing too much with people is probably the goal, but I just like Marcus Armstrong is a guy that I've talked to a lot, and like seeing his face sometimes, it's kind of like, this is crazy what we're doing. I'm like, yeah, man, welcome to the show. Like, this is it. Like, this is what we're doing every year. It's kind of wild. And to see their reaction is actually really cool, because I remember having the same reaction many years ago now when I was a rookie. And Anna was in that race too when I was a rookie, so it was good, that was good to see. But I was like, I remember having the same chat with like Marco Andretti when I was a rookie. I was like, dude, this is kind of nuts. And he was like, yeah, and like, welcome to the game. Like, this is what we do here. So it's kind of cool.
And then I talked with Catherine a little bit about this earlier. Like, you guys have a unique perspective with this being your only IndyCar race of the year. How do you go about like preparing for it from a mental and physical standpoint?
Well, I mean, they say go big or go home. Well, I'm literally going big and still going home anyway afterwards. So I have no other choice other than to just leave it all on the table. But I love this event, and it doesn't really feel as much as if it's like if I were like when I showed up at St. Louis with the Rahal team, like it was one practice session and then we're racing. Whereas like we've had a bit of time to get used to this team. We've had some practice sessions, a couple of days of qualifying, a lot of time to bond and get used to like what I want. So it's definitely unique in that sense. And Monday practice, I'm just trying to run race stints because I haven't done a race length yet this year. So physically, you got to get yourself ready and more in tune with that. And so I wish we had more practice last week because that would have been nice. But still, this event gives you more time than any other event to kind of get in the system again, get your body and mind kind of in tune with what you're going to need for Sunday.
And then last one, just everybody talks about how much they love this event. It seems like you might have maybe a greater appreciation for it because you're from here. How do you like go about not taking it for granted because it's in your backyard? I'm sure you've been a bunch of times as a fan, and then you've raced here a lot. How do you go about that?
I mean, it never gets old. The butterflies every morning, wanting to stay here, in the bus lot, still that feeling is incredible. I mean, I've seen this event, it's always been the same car for me, technically just different shapes of the car. But, I feel like I've seen many different eras of this event. I've been a part of the 100th running of the Indy 500. That's the craziest thing ever. Cool to say. And, I've seen, I've been here when Alex Rossi, a rookie, won the 100th, all this cool stuff. So it's been amazing, and it just never gets old. There's something exciting every year. There's something cool. And I want to make history here too. That would be really awesome. So I love it. Never gets old. And I just hope that I can keep doing this for a long time. Maybe as long as, my teammate Ryan's, he's in his 40s, right? I mean, he's got, hopefully I got that many years in me too. So that'd be pretty cool.
So it was nice to peel Ryan off a boat though to come to do Indy 500. So.
Yeah, we were fishing last night together, and he was he looked like he lived on a boat. So he was really good with the water activities last night.
Goals, driver goals there for you, Conor. Go ahead.
Excuse me, I'm going to ask another one in Portuguese
Sure, no
for
problem.
Pietro. Ô, Pietro, na verdade eu saí um pouquinho de corrida. Tu tomou a iniciativa de leiloar um dos teus macacões da Indy 500 para o pessoal lá do Rio Grande, na verdade o meu pessoal do Rio Grande do Sul. O estado foi atingido pelas enchentes e, na verdade, muita gente, é um estado que ama muito automobilismo e que as 500 milhas fazem muita diferença. Muita gente vai estar acompanhando isso. Um dos narradores das 500 milhas é de lá, né, o Jefferson Kern. E eu queria, na verdade, um recado, e teve uma repercussão muito boa lá, foi destaque em jornal local. Queria que falasse um pouco lá para o pessoal do Sul.
Eu acho que é muito importante, apesar de estar correndo aqui, pensar nas pessoas que estão sofrendo muito no Rio Grande do Sul. É uma ajuda pequena, né? Mas eu acho que é importante todo mundo ajudar de alguma maneira. Então, o macacão que eu vou estar usando para a corrida nas 500 milhas de Indianápolis, já está rolando o leilão, estamos fazendo junto com o pessoal da Hall of Fame Collection. Então, todo o dinheiro que a gente arrecadar desse leilão, vamos doar para uma organização que está ajudando as pessoas no Rio Grande do Sul. E eu acho muito importante, se não conseguir ajudar, sabe, com dinheiro, com doação, pelo menos compartilhar o que está acontecendo lá, ajuda muito.
Obrigado.
Chris, go ahead.
Connor, on the qualifying morning, you posted a GIF. I think it was the Undertaker getting out of the coffin. Compared to previous years, what is your level of confidence going into Carb Day and the race this year, and how different is it compared to your past few seasons?
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, when we did Fast Friday, that was the first time in the week where I was like, ooh, this is we might have something's going on here. And the car was definitely difficult to drive, but usually there is a reason for that happening. And what I felt turns out was accurate after we looked at the data that night. And so then Saturday morning we go out and we're right back in the window. So it was kind of just like when you're in Fast Friday and the car is loose and it's like physically sideways in the corner, you're like, this is probably not great. So the next morning when you go back out and you can do 4 laps, you're like, okay, cool. All right, we're back. And it was the same all during the qualifying day on Saturday. It was like we actually were behind because of how difficult Fast Friday was. You maybe don't run it as trim because you're like, well, maybe like we hope we fix the problem, but like if we didn't, we don't want to, make an irresponsible decision. So thankfully, we probably could have run a little bit more trim, a little bit more aggressive in the qualifying day, and we obviously know what happened on the qualifying day anyway, which kind of helped or prevented us from being a little bit further up, but. Other than Fast Friday, we've been really confident every day. And I've honestly been impressed with this Dry Ramble Cusick team. I mean, everyone from Chevrolet has been super helpful for us as well. Obviously, as a one-time entrant, it's tough for us to show up, to the big game here and be right in the gate. And we got a car in the Fast 12, and we got cars that are 2 cars that are really fast. So that's really impressive yet again from Dennis and everyone at the team. And I feel great. I mean, I feel very confident, and that's something that I wouldn't lie to anyone. Clearly, I've obviously been very honest, probably too honest in my life. So we're pretty stoked about this weekend.
And earlier you mentioned about Larson Scooter. Is it just me, or has there not been anything public, or have there not been any driver bus lot pranks at all so far this month?
It's been quiet. It's been quiet in there. I don't know what's been going on. I think maybe we're all just focused. I don't know. It's kind of sad, but also I sleep better at night.
Bia, go ahead.
Hey, bom dia. Good morning,
Bom dia.
Conor. I'll do in Portuguese, sorry.
That's all right.
But I'll do in English so
Sounds
you
cool.
understand. You don't get too curious, okay? Pietro, this one from Daniel, but he's shy of asking because all the statistics.
Yeah.
But last time the Yellow Submarine did the pole position and Emerson Fittipaldi won the race. So are you superstitious? Like you feel confident about this?
I didn't know
I
about
like that. That's cool. Wow, that's a
Being
fun fact. I
100%
like
more
that.
confident.
Yeah, I didn't know about that, but that's a good
Cool.
good statistic, going into the race. Eu acho que a última vez essa estatística é legal. Eu acho que uma coisa positiva para entrar na corrida com isso em mente.
Boa sorte. Good
Muito
luck.
obrigado.
Thank you.
Conor.
We have time for one more here in the front row.
Pressure's on now, bro.
Thank you. Thanks, Bia.
29
Ajá. Para regresar a todos los idiomas, Pietro.
Sí.
Curioso que decías acerca del clima y eso. ¿Ya estás pensando en qué cosas tendrían que cambiar en tu puesta a punto? Si la pista se pone verde, ese tipo de cosas, estos cambios en temperatura, ¿estás pensando en qué tienes que cambiar para la carrera?
Sí, es importante porque el lunes cuando entrenamos hacía mucho calor la pista y el carro sí se comportaba muy diferente, pero sabemos que, por ejemplo, en el último entrenamiento de Carb Day, la pista se va a poner más fría, va a estar más cerca de las condiciones que vamos a hacer la carrera. Entonces, para nosotros, este último entrenamiento que vamos a hacer mañana es muy importante como una preparación para la carrera, porque la pista mañana va a estar más fría y más parecido de las condiciones del race day de Indy 500. De la pista quedar verde, pienso que no hace tanta diferencia aquí en el óvalo, es más por la temperatura.
Okay. And Conor, you have time to offer your golf services with the drivers?
Golf? Oh yeah, that was funny. I'm always happy to help a friend in need. You know what I mean? Colton needed some assistance because the poor guy ran out of gas, and I've ran out of gas on the highway before too. I know how that goes. So sometimes you just need a ride. Somehow the Skycam's always watching, so you never know.
And you said in your podcast that you will get that videos. Did you get them already?
I do have the video. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. But there was video of Alex Rossi that I think I'd love to talk to NBC about it because I had to fix Alex Rossi's golf cart too for him in the middle of the weekend. And that I saw somewhere there's Skycam footage of that. So someday I'll get that too.
Skycam never lies.
Never lies. So watch out, bro.
All right, we'll wrap things up with this group, row 10. Again, Christian Lugard is getting the golf tournament exemption. He'll join us here at the end of the day. Coming at the top of the hour at 11 a.m., row 9 with Linus Lundqvist, Roman Grosjean, and Tom Blomqvist.